Hi, I'm Denise, and I'm here with Hannah Thiem, and she just played on the main stage at Wanderlust 2014 at Stratton, Vermont. And when she does her solo performances, she goes by Hannah. It was a really beautiful performance. Some of the members of Ecstatic came up and danced during that set. How do you feel about it?
I feel invigorated.
Yeah.
It was truly such a pinnacle moment for me. Just, I had a big case of nerves before going on. I don't usually get nervous. I perform in all kinds of situations, all kind of everything you could imagine. But I definitely was feeling rushed. I was feeling not totally centered because my sound check and getting into my costume and everything was a bit tight on time. But then once I got on stage, everything melted away, and I was just like, I'm here and in my element, and this is what we're here for. And I see all these beautiful faces in the crowd, and it was everything I could have imagined and more.
Nice. That's beautiful. So you've been involved with Wanderlust for a few years now.
Yeah, this is actually my third year playing Vermont.
Okay.
The first year I came on board as Arana Pitchinson's violinist for her yoga soundscape. So she's the one who introed me to Wanderlust. And I'm forever grateful to her because she introed me to such an incredible family of beautiful people making this incredible festival happen. And they fell in love with me, I fell in love with them. I brought myself to California just to further kind of solidify that link. And then they booked me for a solid tour with them last year. So that was like the launch of my Wanderlust experience. And tonight was the very first time they booked me for a solo main stage performance.
Nice.
And I think that's why I had the case of nerves because,
Sure.
you know, when you're a performer, if you are dedicated to your craft, you want to show up in the biggest way possible. And I think nerves are good. They don't feel great, but they mean that you are doing, like you are like, it's like it could go this way or it could go that way, and you're just like vibrating with that like essence of artistry.
Yeah.
And if you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing, yeah, no, whatever.
Right.
I don't think it would have that same quality.
Right.
Do you think?
Well, it's the build-up is and also taking yourself to your edge. So you're right there on the edge, and the transformation comes when you're challenged. And so that challenge can definitely bring through something unique that might not as much without it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's impossible to not have it happen
Yeah.
without the challenge, but it definitely brings something.
Well, in a lot of what I do, I always try to include some kind of improvisational element to my performance. So it's very visceral, very real, very of the moment.
Yeah.
And to have those kind of like nervous energy, not nervous, that's not the right word, but that like everything's tingling, everything's vibrating, everything's like, and then you can make magic happen. And when the audience reflects that back to you, then you know you have this really true connection, this kind of divine, magical moment.
I feel that from your performance. When I saw you first here, you were playing down at the Rue Bohème and the gazebo that was there. And the words that came to me is that it was chillingly beautiful. And it was just like, and also just the way you hold yourself, your presence, it's very beautiful. And the word exotic is coming to my mind. That's not exactly what I mean, but it holds a presence that is very striking. So you played with Random Rab on his most recent recording and toured with him as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And how's that?
Well, what I like to say is, like, whenever I get an inspiration and it's truly in my divine plan, those like very clear desires happen. So I actually, to be quite honest, I'd heard Random Rab's music. I probably heard it many times before, but it wasn't like, this is Random Rab's music. heard his music last winter, and I was like, I'm in love with this music. I need to play with this guy. I met him in February. We had a great connection through my friend Dina, and he was like, oh, I love your music, what you're doing. He listened to the stuff that I was working on with Nixis and Paul, and he was like, I want to feature you on my next album. So he sent me some stuff, I recorded it, and then he happened to be at Wanderlust Tahoe. We performed together. We had never rehearsed. I had a full day. I was like, oh, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And I was like, Random Rab, I'm there. We performed, and it was like the most easeful, pure, beautiful performance ever. And you should see our photo that we took after the performance. We were like giddy with glee. We're just so excited because it was like really, truly like such a beautiful performance. And then he was like, I have all these ideas, I want to, bring you on tour with me. Like, it's still in the works, but like, let's talk. And so yeah, I went on tour with him in October. We had an amazing time. Yeah, such a good time with Cedar, with Alex, who is the assistant, and we just had these crazy adventures in the Midwest and the East Coast.
What tracks are you on Grease?
I'm on Requiem. Yeah. And then actually I'm on another track on his other project, More. M-O-U-R.
Yeah.
I said it wrong.
Which track is that?
I forget the name.
Well, we'll have to listen and find the violin on it, and then we'll know. Yeah. And so you started your solo project primarily when you were playing with Sphongle, playing on tour with Sphongle?
I was studying at Dubspot. Dubspot is an electronic music production school in New York, and I got this opportunity to play as an in-between act between Phutureprimitive and Sphongle live for Sphongle's birthday, for Simon Posford's birthday. And this was at the Hammerstein. It was a sold-out show, and it was the very, very first time I'd ever performed solo without. I have a band called Kopal. I have a project called Nixis with Haj from Sapsora. Very first time I performed by myself, and they wanted me to look kind of dangerous and exotic. So I wore these thigh-high boots with heels and like a bustier kind of thing. And I was like, don't fall. Whatever you do, don't fall. And there's Rain from Phutureprimitive like manning my tracks behind the console, because he's just a lovely person like that. And the whole time, like, don't fall. So that was an incredible experience. And actually, the Grays, Alex and Allison Gray, they were in the crowd. They're like, there's a violin. It sounds like Hana, because I've worked with them a bunch and played at their events. And then they're like, it is Hana. That was a beautiful moment. But anyway, yeah, so that was like the future vision. And then we moved into that. And then through my experiences with Arana bringing me in a few years ago to Wanderlust to support her class. Mm-hmm. And then it just it was this total evolution that sort of meandered and flowed. But the whole time I had this vision of I don't want to have a band. I want to be the band. Yeah. And then branch out from there, then have a band. But to have that freedom to be expressing and be, have a flexible formation, I think is really the thing. And I've been having a lot of fun with that, just touring. Last summer I toured all summer with Wanderlust. I went to Lightning in a Bottle, to Shambhala, and to Burning Man, performed with Random Rab at Burning Man, with Human Experience, and Jillian Ann. So just a lot of collaborations, a lot of explorations. And I think the thing is, people are still trying to figure out what it is that I do, or who I am, or what I actually do. And it's interesting to reveal that.
So when you play violin solo, you have music in the background. Mm-hmm. Do you select that music? Do you produce that music? What are your influences with that?
Music is all music that I produced.
Nice.
So I write all the production, and then I work with an amazing mixer, Dave Sharma, who's actually performing later tonight, Escort, with Escort.
Oh, nice.
And then, get it mastered. I had my solo EP, Brim, which is all the music you heard tonight at my solo performance. That's on the new EP called Brim, and that was mastered in London. I don't like to cut corners on everything that I do. I mean, nothing that I do, everything is like, I'm such a perfectionist. So everything that I presented tonight, I produced. So I do all the beat production and the bass line. Like, it feels so good to be able to express myself in an organic manner, but with precision. And I like to describe my sound as cinematic subsonic music.
Yes.
I feel like people get visions, they see things, they get inspired. And I've had a number of people tell me that they actually journey with my music, which is, it really means so much to me. Because my real vision, my real purpose, I feel like in life is to inspire people and to be a what do you call it? Like is it an enigma? Or a catalyst for change in people's lives. That's the word.
So is that how you came to start doing the sonic meditation hikes?
Well, that actually happened because Garth Stevenson, who does the sonic, or he does the, I forget what he called the hikes, but he had a morning meditation hike and a sunset meditation hike. And he was contracted for a film to write the score for. So I filled in for him because I was the closest fit,
Sure.
Upright bass, violin, kind of similar.
Would he carry the upright bass
Yeah,
on a hike? Wow.
he would. So he kind of coached me through a little bit of what he does over the phone, and Wanderlust selected me to fill in. And at first I was like, am I qualified to lead a hike? But actually, when I thought about it, when I wrote my bio, I've been trained by my dad in wilderness exploration, survival, in getting, deep with the plants, and we would go on these beautiful canoe and portage excursions in the Boundary Waters and Sylvania in the Midwest. And so kind of that awareness of nature, I bring that to the hike, in that I encourage everyone to explore their six senses and then really tune into the earth, tune into the sounds around them, and for everyone to realize that music comes from our environment, from our surroundings, and to really bring attention to the fact that we're not, in a bustling city. I live in New York. It's nice to tune out and tap into nature, and some of the hikes that I've been on, there's actually been interactive birds and insects who have participated in them.
Like the slug
in the
on your
hike.
shoe
Yeah.
on ours.
Yes, exactly. So there was one hike where this bird was really enthusiastic. He was like, and I would play back to him, and we'd have this whole conversation. And I also like to make it a surround sound experience, so as people are dropping deeper into the experience of the music, then I'm walking and moving my location. So as they're dropping deeper into their shavasana or their yoga nidra of violin nidra, then the music is kind of surrounding them. And it's all intuitive. What I'm doing is very intuitive, but I try to be very open to the inspiration of the moment, and feeling what people need, tapping into their senses, and really trying to provide a symphony, like a nature symphony, for them to really just zone out to. What was your experience?
I thought it was beautiful. I was inside of myself in a place of pretty deep stillness, and the backdrop behind you was looking down the mountain and seeing the sky, and it wasn't sunset yet, but it was starting to shift towards the later part of the day, and everyone around me was very still, and even the grass was kind of still. I didn't have any bugs around me at all, so I don't.
Do you see these whelps on me?
Yeah, I don't get bothered by bugs, so they don't seem to like me.
They
which
like
works out
snacking on
okay.
me.
Yeah. So I was just in a very much stillness, and when you started to walk around, that surround sound element of it was very potent. And we had at that point done I don't know how many yoga classes over the course of the day. So it was a beautiful stillness that allowed me to kind of rest. And then and walking up the mountain also, when we were walking up, we thought, after how many yoga classes, now we're walking straight up down the
we walked
wall,
like 20 minutes up, straight up the mountain. No,
straight up the mountain.
No breaks.
So there were times where we thought of turning back, but I'm very glad
really?
we didn't. It's well, just because we were we were also were late, so we weren't with the group. We were behind,
okay.
so we didn't really know what was happening. But so it was kind of like everything rushing and getting there, and then just boom, still, and then the beautiful thread of your sound just moving through the silence inside of myself. It's beautiful.
I think that's what's so special to me. That's why I always encourage at the end for people to share their experiences with me, because there's some pretty profound experiences, and I'm just a messenger. I'm not. I would like to clone myself and be able to participate as well,
Yeah.
but I can only provide what I'm inspired to provide, and I can only imagine what may be happening, but everyone's having their individual experience, so it's so profound when people share their experiences with me.
So what's your experience when you're providing something like that?
I mean, like even, I think some of it is just like managing what I want to provide for people. So I was feeling cold towards the end of it, but I resisted putting on my sweatshirt because that would bring awareness to everyone who's sitting there that, oh, I'm cold. I should maybe leave or put on something else. I don't have anything else. So, like as a performer, sometimes my needs are not as important as the experience I'm providing. So,
And it's a limited amount of time.
it
that
is,
you're
yeah.
performing, so.
Yeah. So, I try to be aware of everything that's happening around me, and like definitely seeking out the sun, because that really was helpful to find some sunbeams to keep me a little warmer. But it was really beautiful to see how people showed up for it, and really, it's such a beautiful experience. I mean, I can only imagine, this intimate serenade of music in this nature serene spot with a beautiful vista. Like, it's kind of idyllic. And I get to do it 4 more times this summer. A few more times, because I do it twice every festival. This festival, because of the solo performance, on the main stage, I only did 1 hike.
Yeah. Well, I was grateful we were able
Yeah,
to
I'm
make
so
it.
glad.
And thank you for talking with us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really great to meet you and hear your music, and thanks for sharing it with all of us.